Ahoy, shipmates! I think everything's working at the moment. It all appears to be. I can't get the radio, though. I did hear something about the Queen Mary 2 is ready to depart very shortly. So she's due to depart at 5:30, and as you can see, she's right in front of you. And this is a very different view from what we normally have, isn't it? This is our new Netley cam, situated approximately halfway down Southampton Water, ideally located for viewing vessels as they leave the main port of Southampton on their way down Southampton Water to Cowshot Spit and off to warmer climes. It's a really fabulous location, this one. It is a little bit windy out there today, and this camera is on top of a tall mast, which does make it wobble around a little. But I believe that's something I shall sort out with a few guidelines in the future. Okay, right. So, yes, quite a few people in the chat. Ahoy there, shipmates. Shipmates have we got in the chat? Ahoy there, Daniel Sandler. Very quick off the mark there. And ahoy there, Annette Ostrowska. And ahoy there, Mark Green. Ahoy there, Dina Piper. Deanna Piper. And of course, Kevin too, one of our marvellous banners, is in the chat as well. I got this going rather last minute. I was having difficulty connecting to the new camera and its remote location. Had to adjust a few settings and there we go, got it working. So this is a very different view that we normally see, though the Queen Mary 2 will be reversing and pirouetting around the the dockhead, and then heading towards us, and then off out towards Cowshot. We don't normally see it from this angle. This will be quite good. This is probably the best berth for seeing the ships from this location. All the other berths are further north out of the view of the camera. Of course, we get to see all the ships coming past, but this one's definitely the best. On her way out to Weymouth. I'm not sure if there's any passengers on board. I thought I heard something about passengers on board, but it may have just been crew. I'm not entirely sure. I was busy setting up the live stream. I think maybe it was just crew on board. Ahoy there, Vanessa Wells. And ahoy there, Karina Olin says she's saving money so that they can do the transatlantic route on the Queen Mary 2 in 2023. It would also be my first time on a ship. Well, you're definitely picking one of the best ships and routes. That's a proper old school transatlantic crossing on an ocean liner. So that's definitely a great way to start your adventures into the world of cruising. Ahoy there, Sandra Woodcock. And ahoy there, Neil Harfield. Ahoy there, Sandra Wright. And ahoy there, Susan Woolen. Oh, I've got this is a new chat and it's jumping around as well. And ahoy there, Terry Newby. And ahoy there, accounts officer. That's let's have a look. I don't have very good control with this camera, if I'm totally honest. It's a bit wobbly. The camera itself is wobbly, but my method of controlling it is a bit wobbly as well. There we go. It's just... we can actually quite clearly see the dock head here. Oh, it is quite wobbly, isn't it? And you can see a couple of lines there on the stern, so she's still attached at the moment. I do have the radio on, but it appears to not be cooperating, broadcasting with me. I'll zoom out a bit so it's not quite so wobbly. There we go. There is actually a bit of sound on this camera, but I think the wind will be in the wrong direction for picking up the sounds of the horns. The ship will probably, the Queen Mary 2 will probably fire her horns northwards, and the wind is blowing northwards. So the chances of hearing anything are unlikely, unfortunately. Oh, ahoy there, James Duffy. And ahoy there, VP, who says, this is exciting, a different angle. Yeah, it is. It's very exciting. Quite a different angle. And it's also at an angle. Camera's mounted atop of a mast at a local sailing club. That's the Netley Cliff Sailing Club. And I think what's happened is at the top of the mast is a platform. And I'm suspecting that many years of wind coming from one direction has bent the platform. I didn't notice when we were up there screwing the camera in, but upon turning it on, it is fairly obvious that it's got a bit of a lean, so we'll have to go up there and correct that. Probably add in a couple of guy lines as well to try and stop it wobbling around so much. It doesn't matter so much when you're at a wider angle like this. You can't really see the wobble, but as soon as we zoom in, it does tend to wobble a bit. Looks like there's a puff of wind there puff of smoke blowing away in the wind from the Queen Mary 2, so all looks good there. Nothing yet on the radio. I don't think you can hear the radio. Technical difficulties. I shall investigate further on the radio. But I would imagine that last I heard, she was due to depart shortly. Oh yes, looks like the lines are coming in at the stern. So yes, all is good. Getting a little bit wibbly wobbly once we're on maximum zoom. I don't think we've had such a clear view of the stern of the Queen Mary 2 before. This is brilliant. I'm enjoying this view. Oh, with there Raymond Dickinson. And ahoy there, Sandra Woodcock. And ahoy there, Lisa Smith. And ahoy, Kathleen Pace. Oh, ahoy there, Mark Green says, good to hear you. Oh, thank you, Shipmate. Good to be back. I have missed little broadcasts, so it's good to be back. And ahoy, Niels Go 100. Wonderful location, she says. Yeah, I think this is a great location and it'll suit the rest of the network really well if we can get the rest of the network up and running. Hopefully more on that in the next few weeks. Well, there's Stephen Saunders. It says excellent view. Yeah, this is a different view than we're normally used to. But I think it's a lovely compliment for the channel. Obviously, this is a new channel. Bizarrely, many. Oh, I have Queen Mary 2's on the radio. No, I didn't quite hear what the Queen Mary 2 said. Possibly on the move. Yeah, it's a bit wibbly wobbly, isn't it? Let's zoom back a little bit. Interestingly, what we will see from this location, we'll see her reverse towards us and swing around the dockhead and then come towards us down Southampton Water. Yeah, so we're actually on the different channel now. I've created a different YouTube channel called Ahoy Shipmate for a number of reasons. Principally because I thought that Solent Ships was a great name, but I wanted to be slightly broader in my approach and not necessarily restricted to ships and the Solent. I wanted to cover more water-based activities in a sort of more larger geographical area. So Ahoy Shipmate I thought was more appropriate. Plus also, that's my catchphrase and looks better on the t-shirts. And let's name the website and everything else. Second reason, I've had some technical difficulties with YouTube for the last 6 months or so. And they doesn't seem to be able to solve the problems I'm having, even though I keep contacting them and asking them about it, and they keep saying no, it's all fine, but it's not working for me. It's what I want to do, so I've set up a new channel to avoid those problems. And there we go. That just about sums it up, I think. Ahoy there, Tizzy C. Oh, and ahoy there, Tina Betts. And ahoy there, Michelle DF says it's good to have the live stream back again. Oh, thanks, shipmates. Ahoy there, Ken Finch. And ahoy there, Keith G. And ahoy there, Diane Waddington says the Queen Mary 2 is still undergoing renovations, so there are no passengers on board. Well, I can certainly agree with that, because the last couple of days there have been some big cranes next to Queen Mary 2. Obviously lifting on and off various bits of specialist equipment. I'm not sure when her first cruise is with passengers, actually. Should have investigated. Oh, ahoy there, Gemma Harris. And ahoy there, Lewis Edlin, who's loving the new camera view. Thanks, shipmate. Yeah, this is it's not bad. Not bad at all. It looks to me like the Queen Mary 2 is on the move, or is it just the camera wobbling? I'm going to have to solve this camera wobbling problem, aren't I? I have to put in a couple of guidelines to stabilize the platform. I'm sure that'll solve the problem. Oh, yep, she is on the move. On the move back. That's good. Actually, from this location where the Queen Mary 2 is, which I think is 33 berth, the popular manoeuvre for the cruise ships on 33 berth is to slowly ease away from the dockside, from the quay, and then to reverse around the corner of the dockhead here, swing around the lower swing ground here, and then head on out. So previously, when we've seen ships leave from this location, we've not managed to see much of them. They just go round the corner, out of view. So this will be a different view this time. Ahoy there, Nick Churchill. Asking if there's any chance of an outbreak of common sense from the Port Authority. Well, we shall have to wait and see, won't we? Ahoy there, Craig Bull. And ahoy there, James Duffy. One of the red jets sneaking past there. Probably doesn't look like the Queen Mary 2 is going very fast, but she'll be swinging the bow around, which we won't really see at the moment, but once she gets a little bit further backwards, you'll see the swing start. Ahoy there, Ignacio. And ahoy there, Ian Cruise Guy. I'd like to say welcome back and great camera. Yeah, this is a great camera location. I totally agree. Needs a few improvements. I think the couple of guy lines to the platform will stop it wobbling will be a help. And also the internet connection to the actual camera is not the best. I think we need to do a little bit of tweaking on that, and that'll improve performance. That's why occasionally you can see some sort of interference across the picture. That's probably due to the wind and the poor Wi-Fi, but these things can be improved over the future. Oh, we're there. Nell Hartfield. Apparently I called him Neil, and it's actually Nell, short for Eleanor. Oops. Sorry about that, shipmate. Sometimes when I'm reading it quickly, the names are very small on my screen, and I can't always see the details of characters. But Queen Mary 2's slipping out there nicely. It's very mild in port today, although a little bit breezy. Of course, once she comes further down south of the water, we'll get an even better view. No passengers on board, just crew at the moment. So I'm not entirely sure how well lit up she'll be. Some of the cruise ships we saw yesterday were lit up very nicely, and it was just sort of dusk, so we had a lovely sunset going on, and some really brightly lit cruise ships coming up. That certainly looked quite exotic as they drifted down Southampton water, but I'm not sure about today. I'm not sure how many lights will be. I could see a few lights on. It's getting darker. I'm not sure what the sun's up to, if it's going to provide us with a lovely sunset tonight, or if it's just going to disappear behind the horizon. Oh, there, David Taylor says he loves the new camera, and he's just signed the petition. There is a petition going. They're trying to persuade ABP to let the cameras continue. So it's not my making this petition. It's one of a very dedicated shipmate who's decided to do it. So thank him very much indeed. If you'd like to continue watching these cameras and support the channel, then subscribing to Ahoy Shipmate would be incredibly helpful. Lining petition also potentially very helpful. And just watching some of the content so I can build up some watch hours. Oh, well, it sounds right. This evening, Captain and Rusty. Rusty's doing well. Oh, well, there's Leslie Donaldson says, last night was great with 2 cruise ships. Departed at dusk. Yes, it was really good timing, actually. It was very pretty. If they were sort of an hour later, I think it had been quite dark, and an hour earlier, we wouldn't have had quite the sunset, so it was good timing. Ahoy there, David JM. And ahoy there, Tina Stockman. Oh, there, Marco says the view towards Southampton seems to have a bit of a slope where it's fine, it's pointing to catch up. Yeah, I think actually the camera has its most horizontal view when pointing at Fawley chimney. And when you go further left to Cowshot and round down Water, it tilts the other way. And then when you put Southampton, it tilts the other way. Like I say, I think the bracket has sustained many decades of wind being exposed at the top of the mast and is bent. So it didn't look like it when we installed the camera, but it's surprising how quite just a subtle difference on the bracket makes quite a difference on the camera. But we'll sort that out. And with the Hell's Bells. I think Hell's Bells. I think you were waving the flag on the back of the one of the cruise ships the other day, weren't you? I think you had your Welsh Dragon. I think that was you, wasn't it, Hell's Bells? I certainly saw you. And with their keel scalings, it says last time he saw the Queen Mary 2 was 24 September 2019 in Hamburg. Oh, with the Dinah Bridge. It says great to be back on board and Fab Cam again. Thank you, shipmates. Now we can see the swing starting here. Careful manoeuvre. You don't want to be crashing into that dockhead. You've got to move out a little bit. And there's not, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of space there, but in reality, most of the water in front of us to the right is very shallow. And that's no good for a cruise ship. And over on the left, a lot of that's very shallow as well. So the actual area that the Queen Mary 2 can manoeuvre in is actually very small. So it's a real precision job manoeuvring some of the ships out of here. And especially something like the Queen Mary 2. She happens to be one of the larger cruise ships that we'll have in port in the terms of length, which I think was probably my concern if I was turning around in the narrow part of the port. And Queen Mary 2 is just a fraction over 345 metres, which really, I don't know of many cruise ships that are longer than that. Certainly the biggest ones are all around about that sort of length. So, yeah, you've got to be careful there. No, it does look like that. A bit of sun's coming out, doesn't it? Or the sun's setting, rather. Yeah, they can even see the tide has come in as well. Oh, well, Gemma Harris says, great choice for a first live stream. Well, if I could take credit for being on the ball about this, then yes, you're absolutely right. Great choice for a first live stream. But as it happened, I've had difficulties getting the camera to stream. Get it working. Actually, it's taken a lot of effort to get it working, frankly. I don't know why. It's been a particularly tricky little fellow, this one. Took a little while to get streamed to YouTube, got that sorted, but I need to do something else so that I can pick up the signal from the camera and then rebroadcast it to you with a bit of voiceover. I'll say the Queen Mary 2 is going forward now. She can't make up her mind, can she? Which way is she going there? Forwards, backwards? So yes, I had to perform a few technical settings here and there, and I couldn't get it working. Now, it looks like the Queen Mary 2 is actually going to be swinging off the ocean dock, rather annoyingly. So this is the time where it would have been better on the other cameras. She's not reversing around the corner, rather. I think we can see very far past these grain silos. Look at that. Oh well. Yes, so I did manage to get it working about 15 minutes before I needed to start broadcasting. So more a spot of luck than planning. But anyway, seems to be working well. And we'll just, I don't know, actually, this is going to be quite interesting because I'm not sure how far we will see the Queen Mary 2 in the port there. We might see it quite a way. There's a fantastic couple of time-lapse films on YouTube of some of the refurbishment works that carried out on Queen Mary 2, although I'm not sure it was the last refurbishment, it might have been the one before. Well, it's quite fascinating. If you Google Queen Mary 2, or go to YouTube rather and do Queen Mary 2 time-lapse, you'll see some of those videos. I'm particularly interested in the way they scrub the bottom of the ships, and they take off the propellers. The ship is driven by 2 azipods underneath. Was it 3? No, was it 4, actually? I think it might be 4 azipods. Yeah, 4 azipods. So these are underneath the ship, propellers essentially look like shopping trolley casters. They spin round in all directions. So if you watch the video, you'll see what's underneath, and that you'll see how the ship has a really great control maneuverability. But they take those off, and they take the props off, and it's amazing, really, the amount of work that goes into it. See, I mean, you can understand why a cruise is quite expensive. We can see quite a way into the port from here. Those cranes in the background are its STC5 container terminal. Oh, I would hazard a guess that they're quite some distance away. Let's see, how far away are they? They're about 4.5 miles away. Maybe 5 miles away, the ones in the further background. All right, okay, where was I? Let's have a look. I've just distracted myself. So we will see a swing from here, because I was thinking, I could check one of the AIS websites that conveniently gives me a location. Oh, yeah, she's getting quite close now. Looks like she's got a tug in attendance as well. I'm not surprised. It's a little bit windy out there. Normally the cruise ships don't need tugs, but there's a good gust out there. I think it's gusting around the 20 miles an hour at the moment, which probably necessitates the need for a tug. And the tug's just on the bow to help swing the bow around. Obviously the bow has bow thrusters, which are a set of propellers. I don't know if there's 3 or 4 on the Queen Mary 2. Could be 5, I suppose. Let's have a look, see if we can find out. Not sure. There'll be a number of propellers anyway, 4 or 5 propellers in the bow, and they'll help swing the bow around, even though the rear azipods will also be helping to swing the ship around. But in very windy conditions like this, you can imagine a great slab of cruise ship in an exposed port easily picks up the wind. So better safety first with a tug. With Mr. White Eagle. And ahoy there, Richard Barry. And ahoy there, Mark Castle, says how I finished my documentary I was making back in September. Well, I haven't finished it, no. I'm a couple of episodes into it. Quite a lot has happened between now and then. There's been a lot of interruptions. So I'm hoping to get back into the swing of it. I took a little trip up to Liverpool the other week. You can see Queen Mary 2 starting to swing now, starting to go swing to port. No, I did hear a little blast of the horn, but it was very quick. Yes, took a little trip up to Liverpool the other week. And I took the ferry across the Mersey. Just actually making a little film on that at the moment. Principally, I went up there to have a look at getting some rusty rum distilled and some Rusty Boy Botanicals gin distilled. A couple of lines that hopefully will be available in our shops soon. Hopefully in time for Christmas as well. Spent all day carefully blending the gin and the rums. And the mystery botanical used in both is a variation of some different seaweeds. Some local seaweeds have been added, and I have to say it gives it a very refreshing flavour. It does remind somewhat of the sea, has a real salty air. In fact, the rum variant almost had a salted caramel taste, a real sort of strong salty finish at the end. May not be to everyone's palate, but I'm certainly quite enjoying it. So if I don't sell the bottles, I've got plenty for myself. Oh, there, Nick Churchill says, enjoys listening to the captain. That's a bit like the enjoyable days listening to the test match special. Well, unlike TMS, I don't have my cake. It would be nice, wouldn't it, if I had the cake sent in? That'd be brilliant. Never mind, I shall look forward to something else instead later. Probably have one of my rusty rums. With the Peter Groves. Oh, with their Glennis Bratt. And ahoy there, Pond and Garden. Ahoy there, Mike Gilliard. Asks, will the old camera positions be used in the future? I would like to think so, Shipmate, but just have to bear with us for the moment. Oh, there, Richard Barry's also signed the petition. Well done there. Thank you, Shipmates. And away there, buses, journeys, and more. So it's really great to see you live again. All the best for the future. Wayne from Southampton. Well, cheers for that, Shipmates. Guess that's not a bad view from here. I can't believe, though, the first time I'm expecting a ship to reverse around the corner and she swings off the ocean docks. That's just typical, isn't it? Never mind. We shall see her coming down Southampton water shortly. Ahoy there, Tina Stockman, says she missed the commentary and watching the ships. Oh, it's very pleasant to hear, Shipmate. I certainly missed doing it myself as well. I certainly missed all you excellent shipmates. Certainly missed you having all on board, especially the very knowledgeable shipmates we seem to have. Ahoy there, Phil M6. And ahoy there, Ian Love. And ahoy there, Sergeant Wright says seems to have brightened up for a departure. Yeah, I think you might be right, actually. Yeah, there is a little brightness to the sky now. And that's the Netley Cliff Sailing Club. You can see to your right, no members there today. Busy working. Ahoy there, Mrs. H. And ahoy there, Daz Fidge. And ahoy there, James Duffy, another one who signed the petition. Well done, Shipmate. One of our excellent spanners, Kevin 2's come. There is a 1085 crew on board and one pilot, no passengers. Just crew on this journey down to the wonderful Weymouth Bay. Oh, excellent information here from Craig Bull. It says the Queen Mary 2's first passenger voyage is the 28th of November, and I'm on it. Can't wait. Well, there we go. That's why you know, isn't it? 28th of November, Shipmate. Okay, that's not too long to go now. If that's the first voyage after the refit, you're going to be in for a real treat, aren't you? I wonder where you're off to, Craig. Let me know where you're off to, Shipmate. Oh, there, Tom Elkids. Says he's loving new cameras. Asking if we're going to be setting up more cameras. Yes, indeed, Shipmate. There is more to come. It's always a protracted affair setting up the cameras. It's never the easiest of things trying to fit all the technology into one place. And of course, I'm at the behest most of the time at other people's movements and schedules. So I can only go as fast as someone else will let me do it. And of course, it's all volunteers and donations. So it's not like I'm paying people for these locations. So I just do it on the goodwill and good grace of fellow ship spotters, shipmates. Just hiding behind those grain stores there is Queen Mary 2. Looks like she's almost completed her turn now. That's just whizzing through the comments. Sorry, it's taken a little while. It's a bit behind. Oh, there, Nick Cook. Says he likes the new camera. Where is the petition to be found? I think if you probably look, I suspect Kevin's probably putting up links to the petition. Oh, there, Lee Nursling. It's having problems joining the chat. Yes, you need to be a subscriber to the Ahoy Shipmate channel, but then you should have been okay this morning. There are some weird things happening with YouTube sometimes. Ahoy there, Pond and Gardens, asking what camera I'm using. Well, it's a Chinese camera. It's made by a company called Sunbar Illuminati's. Jolly good camera it is indeed. It's got excellent zoom qualities. More importantly, it streams directly to YouTube. and very important for the channel, obviously. I will put a link for it in the description eventually. I did have an affiliate link, but then that disappeared, so I shall have to try and work out how to do that again. I've been slightly inundated with things to do. Unfortunately, the channel has taken a bit of a back seat for a while, but we can see the Queen Mary 2 poking out nicely now. Just about reaching the dock head. Oh, there, Tim Maynard. He's also signed a petition. Well done there, Shipmate. Thank you very much. And oh, the Ali Clark. He's sitting, watching this while eating fish and chips. Well, no less. Tell you what would really go well with your fish and chips would be a rusty rum or a rusty boy botanicals. Oh, yes, and it was Hell's Bells that was on the Sky Princess 3 weeks ago with his Welsh flag. Yes, thanks for zooming in. Yes, we did see you waving it very proudly. My Welsh relatives would have been very pleased with your devotion to the Welsh flag. Oh, there, Shipmate Roy says he saw the Queen Mary 2 in Liverpool. Yeah, I believe she was going up and down the country earlier. Oh, with their nose down and chorus night. It's also impressed with the new location. Looks like we have one of the red jets just sneaking past here. I don't know if it's me, but certainly the redness of the funnel is really sharp this evening. I think we probably got the levels of the lights just right. Also see the tug there on the front. I think the tug's probably going to come over to the dock head and finished with the tugging activities for this evening. Time to have a nap after all that exertion. Oh, they're not quite all here. Enjoying the feed. Oh, I'd rewatch the boat show video as well. Well, thanks, Shipmate. That's very generous of you. And also sign the petition. Well, it's a loyal bunch of... What a loyal crew of ship... Not a bunch, you must be a crew, mustn't you? What a loyal crew of shipmates we have here. With a Tom Elkins asking if cruise cam is coming back. Well, I don't know. We'll just have to see, shipmates. I'm in discussions with the powers that be about what can and can't be done. Oh, with a keel scaling. It says there's 4 acid pods, 2 spinnings. Ah, there you go then. Earlier discussion about the propellerage, the stern of the Queen Mary 2. So 2 directional azipods and 2 fixed. I think guessing that's what that means. Yes, if you just Google that, YouTube that video on Queen Mary 2 time lapse, you'll see what we're talking about. It's one of the red funnels sneaking in behind there. It looks to me like we're getting a bit of sunset colours here on the side of the Queen Mary 2, on the port side. Let's have a little zoom out and see what's going on. Not very responsive. Yeah, it looks like actually the wind might have died down a bit there. I think the tide's possibly on its way out again. Yeah, not much of a sunset going on this evening, unfortunately. As you can see, we've got a great view of the Queen Mary 2 as she'll come towards us, halfway approximately down Southampton water. And then she'll pass us and then go past Cowshot Spit, turn right. Might see her briefly on Cow's Cam. Unfortunately, I seem to have lost contact with the cow's cow. And yes, I do need to adjust the angle of the camera. Looks like it's been on the run, doesn't it? Just lovely lighting conditions. So if it's a little bit darker, you can't really see the ship very well, and if it's a little bit lighter, you can't see the light. So in that respect, the level of light is perfect combination. Oh, their New School 100 makes a good point. That is a cruise expensive? As well, not really. It does include all your food and travel. Cost New School more for a week in Dublin than a 2-week cruise in the Mediterranean. I know that speaking to her cruises a while ago, that she was saying that some of the Costa cruises in the Mediterranean, I can't remember exactly what she said they were, but I think they were in the region of sort of £40-something a night. Which, frankly, as far as I can see, is an absolute bargain. Plus the weather might be better in the Mediterranean. See the navigation lights on the red funnel there, the two white ones at the top, the lower one and the higher one. They indicate the direction of travel, the lower one being at the front. It's quite amusing to see the red funnel ferry when she's in port. She'll change those lights around to indicate which direction she's going. Oh, there, Nicholas August says he misses Ship TV. Glad to see it back. Thank you, shipmates. I'm enjoying being back as well. Oh, with a Dizzy C says, the chat window's jumped. Where did I get to with that? It says we've got 514 shipmates watching. I've got no idea how many people are watching. I can't tell. Very close to 1,000 people signing the petition. That'll be great if we reach 1,000. Not sure what happens when we reach 1,000, if I have to say. Ricky G says over 500 watching. Well, why only 145 likes? Go on, tick the like. It's free. Well, that's a very good sentiment there. I always forget to mention all these things that people mention on YouTube, like hit the like button and click the subscribe button, because I don't think you want me going on about that sort of thing, do you really? Oh, then Nigel Warren has also signed a petition, and David Taylor's also signed. And Roy says, good to have you back, Captain. Well, thank you, shipmates. Tom Elkins asks how he signs a petition. I think Kevin's just posted a link to it there. It's on change.org. Oh, there, Brenda Srate. She's enjoying this so much, watching while having a breakfast. I seem to remember that Brenda is from Australia, so she has the advantage of enjoying a bit of ship's TV with her orange juice and croissants in what I imagine would be quite comfortable temperatures in Australia, where we're here in, I was going to say chilly England, but it's actually very mild at the moment. We're doing well. Oh, there, Pete Marsh. It says he's missed it all. I'm glad you're up and running. Thank you, shipmates. And over there, Lee Nursling says he remembers this view from his childhood. I was surprised by the number of locals that we have that watch the channel. Many locals who no longer live in the area. Ahoy there, Janet Horton. And ahoy there, Pookie Cat. And even Janet Horton was liking the view when the Queen Mary 2 was behind the grain silos. Keel Scaling's looking forward to more cameras, but missing Ferry Cam. Yeah, I think Ferry Cam was a real hit, wasn't it? You never know. It may well return. With the Gemma Harris, I'd like to thank the Netley Cliff Sailing Club for hosting the cameras. Absolutely. Well, it's been very helpful. The camera will also focus on their boats, so we can keep an eye on their boats, which is just in front of the camera, so it'll be handy for them as well. And Craig Bull, who's off on the newly refurbished Queen Mary 2 on her first voyage, I think he's at November the 28th. He's actually going to Cherbourg in France. Ah, excellent. Across the channel. Hope it's not too windy then. Oh, there Jason Bourne's watching from Totton, a local chap. Oh, with their Cat B, says not much of a chatter, but a regular viewer signed petition. Well, thank you, Shipmates. Oh, there, Paul Hiley says he signed the petition. And oh, there, Francis M says, thank you for all your efforts. Well, thank you, Shipmate. Thank you. All I ask is you click that subscribe button, and it'll help us out massively here on the channel. The chat has jumped again. Well, the Deborah Speller says, lovely view. And over there, Corina Ollins says, enjoying the view as well. It's a great compliment to the, I was going to say to the other cameras. Unfortunately, they're not working at the moment, but once they're back up and running, I think it'd be a great compliment. With the Ricky G's talking about the camera angles, wonders why the camera's here, but essentially the problem with the camera is it's leaning back. So if you're looking straight ahead for the camera, which is approximately looking at Fawley chimney, it's horizontal. But if I go to the left or right of Fawley chimney, it becomes more of an angle as I go further, as the camera spins further around. Hopefully that makes sense to you. There we go. We can see a couple of the sailboats there from the Netley Cliff Sailing Club, just moored out in their mooring area, in their floating moorings. With their James Bridge says the terrestrial TV's off. Now watching the best channel ever on mobile phone. Oh, thanks, Shipmate. Good to hear these positive words. Queen Mary 2's looking rather smart at the moment after a repainting and refits. Obviously, I can't see the inside, but certainly the exterior. The last time she was in port, I took some photographs as she came around Cowshot Spit, and she looked very good. little bit rough and ready before she was repainted. But now she's been repainted. That dark blue hull looks very shiny, and all the white paintwork is also nice and white without any of those rust stains. Doesn't help being at anchor at sea for months on end. It's no good for your ship maintenance. And opposite there you can see the Fawley refinery. I think there's quite a few camera settings I need to adjust, but I don't remember what they are. There's a whole number of settings on this camera, and it particularly makes a difference at night time to increase the quality of the night viewing. I'll have to read up the manual again and look through those. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing any passengers on there. It's just crew at the moment. But I imagine the crew are enjoying the luxury of a proper cabin rather than having to be in the depths of the ship in the crew cabin. I don't know if you can make out, there's a little vertical red line in the center of the screen. That is the television and radio transmitter on the Isle of Wight at Rowridge. That's where all the local people on the island and in Southampton and Portsmouth and around to Bournemouth even pick up a lot of their local radio and television. Well, there, Jason Bourne asks, what's the carbon footprint of her? Well, that's a really good question. I've not actually seen a lot about the carbon footprint of cruise ships. It is something that should be considered, I think. I have seen some articles which suggest it is quite high, then other articles which say that as people aren't travelling elsewhere necessarily, if they're just travelling to the port of Southampton from somewhere in the UK by train and then getting onto the cruise ship, then perhaps their carbon footprint is quite low, because if you have to fly somewhere to then get on a cruise ship, that doesn't help. So it's a complicated question. I don't think it's easy to answer. Well, the Janet Horton, she's on the Iron on the 30th of October. Oh, and she's wearing the merchandise and carrying a bag. Oh, well done, shipmate. And she's also on the Queen Mary 2 to the fjords. That seems to be a really popular destination for people, the fjords. Oh, there, Taz42 says two of them's have just signed the petition from Canada. Oh, we're there. Oh, Paul Hiley's from North Baddesley. Again, another local chap there. Got a nice view of the stern here of the Queen Mary 2. Very different to a lot of the other ships we get here in port. It has a real bulbous curvature and also a very straight bottom. I'm not sure you quite see it in this view. Supposedly it's designed to represent a soup spoon. And there is the Fawley chimney. This has been a navigational marker for ships in the area for what must be the last 30 or 40 years, maybe even more. Certainly around 40 years. Sunday, it will be no more. 7 o'clock Sunday morning, the Fawley chimney will be demolished. So I suggest if you want to watch that, the camera here will be aimed at the chimney for probably the best view on the internet of the explosion of the chimney. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Hoping to get down there on a boat to get closer. I hear that all the roads in the area will be closed, so I'll be able to drive down there or take the motorcycle. But at the moment, the weather's not looking 100% brilliant, so perhaps the best thing to do is to watch my own camera. I shall have to see. Or their bubblehead says he and his better half on the Regal Princess on the 3rd November. Were there Mad Stocks asking where you could find the petition? I think one of the spanners will probably post it for you in the chat. Kevin 2's normally posting that for you. So have a look at one of Kevin 2's messages. Oh, with a news girl. Well, I just said we've just reached over 1,000 petitions. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm not sure what happens when we reach 1,000 petitions, but it must be a good thing. And don't forget the clocks go back on Sunday as well. So even though it's 7 o'clock in the morning, it should be light because it gets light just about 7 o'clock at the moment. So it'll be an hour later. This is probably a view that we won't have experienced before. So as you can see, there's a row of ships there, all lit up brightly in orange. Well, that's the Esso refinery. That's the location where the tankers come in to collect refined fuels of various different descriptions. I think I'm right in saying this is actually the largest refinery in Europe. Well, there, Joseph Hodson says, glad to have you back, Captain, and side position. Well done. Thank you, Shipmate. Well, there, Terence Sharp says, hey, is this the new channel? Yes, it is, Shipmate. I'm having some technical difficulties with YouTube, so I've set up another channel. Nothing actually to do with the other problems we've been having on the channel. It was a YouTube problem. I've constantly connected with the support for many a time, but they just didn't seem to understand the problem. I'm suspecting I was talking to an AI robot on the end of the chat screen. They were very good at referring me to the FAQs. Nicholas August says, bye chimney. Yes, it was a great marker. If you were navigating around the Solent area for quite some distance, especially when visibility was good, you could see the Fawley chimney from a long way away. So it's going to be sorely missed. There was talk of the Riverside Development, the company that's developing the area into residential properties, of putting a row of revolving restaurants at the top of the chimney, which I would have thought was a fantastic idea. Apparently New Forest Council took a dim view of that and said it would encourage tourism. Or their Terror Shops says, Mr. Lives Camps. Or their Gail Riley says, glad back. So she's enjoyed watching the cameras, the liners. And Sharon Sturd asks how she can sign the petition. I think if you look through the chat, Kevin too will have posted a link. It's on change.org. Alternatively, just go to change.org.org and then search for Solent Ships and you'll find the petition there. Helpfully, it was set up by one of our loyal shipmates. He's been very instrumental in getting that going. Off on her way to a wonderful Weymouth Bay. Yes, I think this new camera location is excellent. I just need to sort out the angle problem. It's a bit wonky occasionally. It looks like we have a tug down there and one of the red jets coming over from the Isle of Wight. Need to sort out the angle problem, the wobbly problem, and the slight poor quality of the internet problem. But in the meantime, I think it's a start of a substitute. For replacing the other cameras. Well, there, Paul Williams says he signed the petition. Well done, Shipmate. Was hoping to be on the Queen Mary 2 to New York for his 50th next year. Had a great lunch tour on her. But his wife and Lou, are on Britannia for the Mediterranean instead, delayed from 2020. There's a lot of people still on delayed cruises from what I'm reading. Or there, Ara Morgan. So she's missed the captain's dulcet tones and is enjoying the new camera. Excellent. Thank you, shipmates. Janet Horton saying she's liking how far we can follow the ships for. Yeah, there's a good reach on this camera. We have good combination with the rest of the cameras in port if they ever come back. Queen Mary 2. First passengers, as I've forgotten which shipmate, one of the shipmates is booked up, going over to France on November the 28th. That'll be quite exciting, I would say, because she has been into Brest. I think it was. Was it Brest? Somewhere in France, anyway, for a refit. Certainly been painted up. Had a lot of things added, I'd imagine. Quite a decent refit, so it will be certainly the place to be on the first voyage of the new refitted ship. Hopefully everything will be all clean and sparkly on board. We can just see one of the red funnels coming up the outside there. Oh, the person was asking if Queen Victoria's departing tonight. No, I think she's just moving. Yes, the Queen Victoria is probably about to move in about half an hour's time. She's moving from the 46th berth, the traditional berth of the Queen Mary 2, at the ocean terminal, round to where Queen Mary 2's just left from. guess something else is coming into 46th berth tomorrow then, I suspect. What's coming into 46th berth tomorrow? Oh, nothing I can see. Iona is the next one. And she'll be arriving the 30th of October into 46th berth. I think that's the only berth that Iona can fit into, actually. Oh, there, Nell Half-Built says, are those headlights we can see on the Isle of Wight? Yes, I believe they are headlights. It's I think it's called the Ridge Road. And yes, you can see. I don't think it's particularly clear this evening, but when it's clear, you can definitely see the headlights of the cars on the Isle of Wight. Now, Casey says he's got a problem with putting his clocks back. He can't remember where he bought them from. Ho, ho, ho. And Janet Horton is saying that Iona is coming to collect her and her friend Dorothy. Excellent. I'm sure you have a great trip with Dorothy. Oh, there's Steve Orr from Southern California. I think we'll probably see the Queen Mary 2 just for a little bit longer. She's actually quite bright, isn't she, as a ship? If I zoom in, I wonder if that'll help. Yeah, it's very bright, all those lights on. I need to change these camera settings to perfect it for the night time, I think. Not very well perfected at the moment. Can get better out of this camera. Well, the Queen Mary 2 is just heading down Southampton Water. Water's looking quite calm at the moment. And then she'll be heading round Cowshot Spit. And then off round Bramble Bank. Clockwise around the Isle of Wight. And then off to Weymouth, one of Weymouth Bay. Well, I think that as a first attempt at the new camera has gone reasonably well. It's a few problems that we need to iron out. The wobbles, the listing of the camera, the listing is not very level, and sort out a few other things. But apart from that, all well. I'd like to thank you all shipmates for joining this broadcast. If you haven't subscribed to the new Ahoy Shipmate channel, please do think about it. And thank you for all your efforts, people, in trying to keep this channel and cameras afloat. It's all much appreciated. There's been some wonderful, wonderful messages from people saying how much they've enjoyed and how much they've missed the channel. And of course, thank you to all the spanners running the chats. And of course, thank you for all the PayPal donations, the Patreons, and so on and so forth. I hope to bring you more content soon, shipmates. So don't forget to subscribe. And until next time.